So I wanted to capture a feeling that I'm having right now. And the way that I'm envisioning this whole YouTube show is almost like an experimentalist, that I'm just documenting the things that I'm going through. And this is a really powerful feeling that I'm having right now. And it's a really heavy feeling. So I want everybody to know, if you feel this way, that it's normal. At least there's one other person in this world that has this feeling. So yesterday, I wasn't having a good day, right? Like nothing about it was going well. I've got this kind of like sinus thing going on, but somebody in my life told me some great news that I should have been happy for. And I don't know if you're in the academic game. Often what we have to do is publish, right? We have to go and write a bunch of papers, but it's really hard for me to do. And it's hard for a lot of people to actually do as well. I'm not the only one that really has difficulty with this. And this person said that they had a publication done, and I wanted to, and I see my heart is beating right now. I feel like almost like I want to throw up in a lot of ways, and I wanted to be very I wanted to like be thankful for that person and be encouraging for that person, but I couldn't. And I had this feeling of that I'm kind of a giant loser. And I had this feeling of like, I can't possibly do that. I don't, I, there's nothing in my life that makes me feel that I can actually be like that. And I remember the first time I had this experience in the whole academic game, and it's very real, right? In the academic game, we're paid by these publications, we're ranked by these publications, we're absolutely ranked. All the professors are all ranked all around the world based on these publications. We get jobs based on these publications. It's the only thing that really matters in the academic game. And everything else is just like secondary, right? Like it's like just icing on the cake. And I remember the first time that this happened to me, it was about my second year into when I was doing my PhD, and somebody in my cohort that I deeply care for, I absolutely deeply care for, got a publication, and it really made me feel gross inside. And I don't know, it's probably partly jealousy, I guess, but partly it's more of a reflection. When I feel it, it's not necessarily jealousy or envy, but when I feel it, it's a reflection of like, I'm just not that good. And I'm really sort of pathetic, and I can't do anything. And this part of it, this game that is so deeply part of the whole academic culture, arena, really sometimes gets to me, and it really overwhelms me, right? And that was kind of like these moments when somebody close to you has something like that happen, that or it seems to come really easy to them, right? And it does. Some people, it does come a lot easier to them, right? Yes, they do work hard and all that kind of stuff, but sometimes if you're a better writer, if you focus on different parts of, the paper, sometimes it's easier to do different parts. If you're in kind of a network, right? The whole network thing. I don't have that, right? I don't have the same sort of network. I struggle with a lot of things with the paper. I really do deeply struggle with those kind of things. There's a whole reason why I built the reciprocity platform, was me realizing I really struggle with writing and I can't get over it. So I was like, well, I could build a technical solution. I'm not the only one that deals with this. But what I realized is how I deal with this, right? It's not the best way. It doesn't, and I know that this is like the, I know that there's many better ways to deal with this, but this is how I process it, is I need to remove and distance those aspects of my life. So I try not to talk about it. I try not to, and I realize, every once in a while I might get a publication and I don't broadcast it. I don't talk about it. And I try to hide it, other than the sort of the narrowly defined areas, because I feel so bad when it happens to me. I try not to let other people experience the same feelings that I go through. But I struggle with that. That's something I really deeply struggle with, and is deeply, deeply a huge part of me dealing with this, of being okay with who I am. And I have to reflect. So, that's the one thing, is I push away, and I sort of try to get into my own cocoon where there's not the outside world. And it helps, right? For me, it helps. I try to distance as much as I can, and that helps a lot. I remove any sort of indication where I might feel like that, right? So social media, I try to ignore all of that kind of stuff, and just focus on encouraging other people. That's why I do so much encouragement, is because it hurts me. And I realize that maybe I'm not the only one that goes through that. But the other thing that I try to do is, and this part is super hard, but I try to reflect in how I have a lot of other strengths, and I have other things to give that other people don't have. And this part is always the hardest, where I try to reflect on those, and I try not to dwell on the sort of aspects that are pulling me down. And I think it's all about learning how to love yourself, to be honest. I mean, it really makes me emotional to think about this. It really is a process of learning how to love yourself, and learning how to say, I'm good enough. Everything that I have and what I do is good enough. Everything about me is okay. I am good enough. And the more that I think about this, that I'm good enough, why do I even need any more stuff and all that? Like, another publication, another thing. Who the hell cares? It doesn't matter. It's such a strange phenomenon that I feel like this, but it's very deeply ingrained in me. And I want this to be open to the outside world. I was thinking about, man, should I hide this? I was like, no, I need to have this open. I need other people to sort of see that, you might look at me, if you saw me on the street, or you saw like a piece of paper with me on there, you'd think I have my crap together, right? And I don't have any of these feelings and things like that. But I want the world to know that, yeah, actually, I do. I do have these feelings, and I don't feel like I have my crap together. And it often is overwhelming. It's very difficult. Yesterday was an extremely difficult day for me. Extremely difficult day at the end of the day. And all of my whole family had this. We all had different things that were going on. At the end of the day, we're just like, let's just go to bed. This is not working out. I was just like, let's call this a mulligan. Let's just go to bed. And it was just such a bad day that way. And I want people to know that, hey, if you're going through this, you're normal, first of all. And the second thing is, you're just good enough. Go put your head in the sand, find a cocoon for you, and then find as much positivity that reflects on how good that you actually are, that you're doing good things, and that that you actually have a lot to give. in this world, beyond the sort of stereotypical little tiny areas that the rest of the world focuses on and emphasizes. There is a lot that you actually have. And screw the rest of the world, right? The sort of emphasis on whatever. In my field, it's the emphasis on stupid publications. Who cares? None of that stuff affects you, right? None of it affects you at all. You can't, simply because somebody else does something, you can't stop that. And you can't, and in fact, it's going to make you feel awful, and you're going to do really nasty things. And that's why I've seen the whole academic game. And trust me, you see a lot of nasty things, and you see really bad behaviors, like basically, first grade behaviors in grown up people. And I want people to know that you're good enough. And if you're having these emotions, these feelings, just, there's nothing that you can do to change the outside world. The only thing that you could do is just keep working on yourself and keep going forward, taking those steps forward. That's the only thing that matters. I don't know anything different. I can't do anything different to me. I can't change anything. The only thing I could maybe do is just be more open, but I can't change how quickly I write. I can't change when the way I analyze data. I can't do any of that kind of stuff, right? The only thing I could do is just do my thing and do my steps going forward, and just be me, and focus on being me and being a better me. This actually feels better to be open about it, but at the same time, I hope you all benefit from it as well, realizing you're just damn good enough, and just do your thing and stop worrying about the outside world. All right, take care. Have a wonderful day.